Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Running another pavement street stock series race. We are in week 13, so it is fixed setups at Lanier National
The pit
Speedway.
exit's clear.
No cautions,
Two
so
laps.
that's
Let's get
going
this done.
to take the boring part out of all we do is pace, but that's also going to throw in the issue of if you get wrecked at all, it's gonna be tough to come back. So this may be suicide for both my iRating and safety rating, but thought maybe if I could try to get 40 laps in, it'd be kind of fun in a street stock since I somewhat can keep pace in them, and could be a bit of a safety rating boost if I can actually keep it clean. So just gonna try to put myself as
P8,
close to the
you've
front
just
as I
done
can.
a 14.
Did happen to
Take
find
3.
a fairly decent strength of field for street stocks. I am car number 11 out of 18, so it's certainly not going to be a easy feat by any means. Actually go slower the second lap than the first lap, so P8 right now, that's not going to be great for being on the outside, but not terrible. Don't pay attention to the all-time best. Ran that in a different track condition with an open setup. These are fixed setups this week, so about a tenth off of the two car for the pole. That's not all that bad considering how fast I know the 1, 2, 3, 5 are. They're all going to be really quick. So my goal is just to be top 10, and if I can avoid wrecks, maybe a top 5, I'll be happy with that. I ran 10 to 1 for the steering ratio and 44 for qualifying. Going to take it up to 12 to 1 just to keep myself from burning up the right front too bad, but going to leave everything else. Move the brake bias all the way back to 44%. Steering offset is at the default at 0. So see if we get bumped back at all. Let's see, the 12 is the only one left to turn time. So see what happens. Looks like some people are yelling about him. They just want to get going, although we've got 50 seconds left, so it's not going to make a massive difference. Has he even turned any laps yet? He has not turned any qualifying laps yet. So, yeah, so I mean, worst it's going to be ninth, best it's going to be eighth. So, I would prefer for him to jump me so I can start on the inside and have a little bit of a better shot. But if we start on the outside, it's just all going to be about trying to avoid whatever chaos happens in front. Probably going to be freight train, let a bunch of people have to go. If I can sort out somewhere in the 11th to 12th range off the start, I will be very happy with that, to be honest. I got a feeling it's going to be pretty bad to start, so I'm just going to do the best that I can, try to keep it clean. Like I said, it's 40 laps, no cautions. It's going to feel a lot more like a ARCA race without all of the power, but there's probably going to be
That's
wrecks
the end of the
everywhere.
session.
I
P8.
observed one for a little bit earlier today, and there was some pretty aggressive moves that I would not have personally advised. So, gonna get paints refreshed here, and then we will jump into the car. Back to pace car. Paints loading up slowly, so we should be good. Get back on me. We'll get in the car. Yeah, I mean, a top 10 will be better than where I'm expected to finish. This is technically counting as an official race, so we'll have safety rating and iRating on the line. That's why I said if I can finish in front of the 10th, even though we're starting 8th, if I can be in the top 10, that'll help me from the iRating side. And if I can try to somehow get out of here with a 0x, that'll be about the best I could possibly do for a safety rating standpoint. For being 40 laps in the year, I'm not sure if it'll count enough to get me to the point 4 boost to get me over 3.0, but certainly going to try. If I can gain, half a tenth to a tenth of a safety rating point, I will be happy with that. But yeah, just going to try to keep it as clean as I can. Certainly going to try to drive my best that I can, but not going to lay back and fall to the back. But certainly going to try to put myself in position to still be there
The
at the
track
end.
temp is
Don't want to
118.
take any
The air
contact
temp
too
is
early on
81
that could send
Fahrenheit.
me too far away
8th
from the
place.
leader since there's no cautions to help catch back up and try to make up. So big thing is to just keep moving forward without any problems. I think I should be quick enough to not
Stay
have to
behind
worry about
Schlosser in the
falling
outside
off the
path.
lead lap, but one fast repair if we do need it, although if you need it, you're certainly going to be laps down at that point, so not really something I want to have to use, but if something happens early on and I need to get myself back out there, really for the most part at any point in the race, if something happens and I need to get myself back out there to collect some laps and try to you know, salvage any safety rating out of it that I can, then that is there as needed, but certainly just going to try to keep this as clean as I can and just, yeah, shoot for top 5. Hope we stay somewhere near this 8th to 10th range and get out of a official week 13 without too much damage. So I think second gear is definitely going to be the way to start. Just going to wait for everybody to go.
Relax.
We are off and rolling.
Let's go.
Up in 4th gear now, coming down the front stretch. 5 seems, or excuse me, the 9 seems kind of slow on the outside. We've got people already starting to go by on the inside. Got a bit of a gap behind the 4, so I'm going to see if I can get him by me and then cut in behind him.
Inside's clear.
Get in front of the 16.
B9.
Will help me to try to work my way to the inside of the 9 if I can. You can see the 4 is already trying to work to his inside. Just going to try to get as close to the 4's bumper as I can to keep the 9 from cutting down.
Right side. Car ahead is Schlosser.
Car feels kind of floaty. Not sure what I think about the setup, but again, it's also street stock. You know, we're going to make it feel like a truck or Xfinity or any NASCAR, you know, feeling. So a little bit of contact there. 9 got into the outside wall, came back down into us, able to clear him, so back to 8th. Now I'm just being an idiot driving into the wall on the backstretch, but thankfully no incident points. These cars can take some damage, so not too worried about what it does to performance.
That was
Trying to cut down on a little bit sooner than everybody else just to try to keep the 9 from diving to the inside. Kind of like that, we make a little bit of contact. Just got to try to protect the bottom. I get way loose off the corner, so that's going to give him a good run down the corner. We're into turn 1. See what he's going to do in terms of trying to get by me. Not be shocked to see a dive bomb and him getting into me. That's why, again, I'm taking a much shallower entry than everybody to try to just protect that bottom. At least till I can pull away from the 9 some. This has allowed everybody out front to pull away from me. Don't think I'm really all that much faster. Ford gets the wall pretty hard in the front stretch.
That was a 15.00. That's your best lap in the session.
He's getting it on the backstretch, so he's starting to look like me a little bit, and we're starting to catch him. I think those wall contacts are helping us close in. Not really able to pull away from the 9. 9 is pulled away from the 16 big time, though, so if the 9 does try to get by, I could probably let him by without too much, but just as I say that, the 16 closes up quite a bit. 9 trying to look to the inside again. 4 gets it regrouped for the most part, and you can see that gap starting to open up, so I think we're closing just because of the mistakes, but also have to see if anybody up front has used tires up. I would assume because of me taking a shallower entry trying to defend the bottom and them being able to take a little bit of a later entry, their right front's going to be in a better position than I am, unless they're really throwing the car in. But race is clicking off laps. We are going to be 11 down and 29 left to go this time by. Just trying to find my way. A little bit of a cleaner line. Try to roll it through, keep the momentum up as much as I can through the corners.
That lap time was 15.
Trying to take a little bit of a higher entry, see if I can improve the lap time at all. Get a little loose off of the corner. Got to be cognizant of the 9, taking the inside line since I was opening it. Probably got to get back to defending that bottom if I want to keep the position. He's pulling away from the 16 again, though, so a little bit of a gap if he does happen to get on by.
That lap was a 15.14.
Just trying to do what I can. If you get on the throttle a little too hard too early, not that these cars have much power, but it can kind of kick the rear end around a little bit, so that kills your momentum off. Just trying to be cognizant of that, make sure that I'm smooth off, smooth on. Keeps the tire temps down, keeps me with as much speed as possible. These being very underpowered compared to their size and weight, you've definitely got to try to keep the momentum up as much as possible. Starting to pull away from 9 a little bit. Not sure if he's laying back and conserving or if he's just falling off now. Try to take a little bit of the later entry, see if that'll help me at all with the overall lap times.
You've just done a 15.11.
Not quite halfway through the run, so still a possibility that if I can take this line a little bit longer, might be able to help conserve a little bit of the right front, but certainly if I did damage to it, I've already probably done enough as we are almost halfway through. Getting ready to start lap 20 this time by. I think this line's slower, but helping pull away from the 9 a little bit, so I'm going to keep sticking with this as long as I can. Just got to make sure I also don't get loose. We've got a slower car coming up in the 17. Also can't drive the line like that, though. That's not how you do it.
Okay, Jake, that's half distance. Fuel levels are fine. That last lap was a 15.28.
Gonna be working through the 17, probably through 3 and 4, especially with me getting loose. Kind of did that whole got on the throttle too early and kicked it around. Just cannot find the pace to consistently catch up to the 4. I think he's being held up by the 8, because you can see the 5's pulling away ahead of the 8, but I just don't quite have the pace to get there. But solidly able to maintain an 8th, I feel like, right now. Well ahead of the 9. 16's falling back a little bit. The 12 was able to get, or excuse me, the 12 and the 7 were both able to get by him, so quite a bit of a gap that way, though. About a second and a half between the 9 and the 7. It's able to clear the 17 without any issue as well. 9 gets by the 17. Still about a second, a little over a second and a half up to the 8. Right around a second and a quarter to the 4.
Fahrenheit. The gap to Schlosser behind is now 0.70.
These gaps are staying pretty consistent out front, so not sure if I'm going to be able to get there. Move the brake bias back a little bit, try to help rotate the car in a little bit as we get towards the later stages of the run. Got 14 laps to go this time by as we are on lap 27 of 40.
15.28.
4 is definitely looking to the inside of the 8 now. Not quite there to be able to make a move through 3 and 4, but it's actually been a pretty clean race. I don't think I've really seen any wrecks or any smoke at all, so I wish all the street stock races were like this. It can be a fun car and a fun class when the racing can be like this. I think everybody understands no cautions, you can't really push it too hard, and maybe everybody's trying to be kind with it being week 13.
That lap time was
it's certainly made for far more enjoyable racing than anything that had been happening in the C-Class series. Not really able to gain maybe a couple tenths, but not anything enough that's going to allow me a shot to get by them before the end of the run. It's looking most likely a 8th place finish, but I guess it's possible if there's contact between the 4 and the 8 that allows me to get by one of them. Could squeak my way up to 7th. 4 takes it to the inside through 1 and 2. 8 gives him the inside line. He holds high, tries to get the run off of turn 2 down the backstretch. Inside line's just almost always going to prevail here. So tough to battle on the outside. The longer I can have them battle side by side, the more likely I can to try to get by one of them. If I'm the 8, though, I'd be trying to just check up, understand that you probably already lost the spot, and get down to protect yourself from losing another one, which is what he does there. So smart by him. We've got 8 to go this time by. No pressure at all from me behind from the 9. Just putting too much wheel into it out of turn 2. 8 tries the crossover, gets a little loose in the corner, slides. Not sure if there was contact in the door between the 8 and the 4. This is allowing me the shot to at least try to close back up to him. 8 gets loose there out of turn 2. Able to at least get close to the bumper of the 4. At least make the 4 drive a little more defensive, or if he's going to be able to get a run underneath the 8, then I can try to follow in behind him and take it. Depending on how slow we go, this could potentially allow the 9 to start catching back up, but I don't think the 9, with only 5 laps to go, is going to have enough time to get back to me to do anything unless it really slows the pace. Don't want to think about 3 wide here, not much I can do. 8 gets into the wall in the backstretch. 4 gets to his inside. I'll try to see if I can follow the 4 through.
Got one inside. They're on the inside.
Your last lap time was at 15.40.
Move the brake bias back all the way to try to be able to stop the car in time through the corners. A little bit of contact there again through the Center of the corner through the 8 and the 4. 3 to go this time.
The gap behind is now
8's
1.6
cutting down
right
hard. They are definitely making contact
on
as they
your-
run side by side. You can see the 4's all over the
Still
place.
there.
8 comes down in
Still
us.
Clear high.
Able to clear him, so that's going to give me 1 spot. 2 to go.
P7. 2 laps remaining.
Not sure if I'm going to be able to get by the 4, but certainly going to try my best. To get the white flag this time by. Just trying to get a run off the corner on the bottom. See if I can get to his
White
inside.
flag. 1 more to go.
This is going to be
On
my
your
shot
right.
as he got loose there through
You
1
on
and
right
2.
side. Still there.
Just going to hold it on the
Clarify.
bottom,
Yeah,
try
on
to
right
get the
side.
best run off of the corner, see if we can get an
Clarify.
eye
On your
get
right.
loose.
That sideline's clear.
Not sure if I was
P6.
able to
And
grab
there's
it.
the
I think I
finish.
did.
Good result, mate. Well
I
done.
think I was able to grab 6, so that was very fortunate that they continue to run side by side at the end of the run. That allowed me to get back, and thought I tried to do that as cleanly as possible, so that was certainly a very exciting finish. And we did. Got him by about half of a hundredth. Or excuse me, half of a tenth. So yeah, I will definitely take 6th place out of that. Wasn't quite the 5th place run that I wanted. I don't know if I would have honestly had the pace to compete with them, but certainly a good attempt at it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one from that standpoint. Tires weren't too bad. Actually, wore out the right rear a little more from sliding. But let's, since we got a couple minutes, let's take a look at the last couple laps there. That was by far the best part. All right, so let's look at it from our perspective. You can see they're running nose to tail here. This is down the backstretch. This is going to be coming with 5 to go. I was just trying to do all I could to keep the car as clean as possible, try to catch them as quickly as possible if they were going to get side by side. Certainly trying to work a little bit of a later apex, try to enter off the bottom a little more. See if I could get a run. You can see the 4 dives it in because the 8 left the lane open through 3 and 4. 4 pulls to the inside. 8's got it conceded. I had just a hair of a contact with the 4. They were trying to slow down. The 4 and 8 were basically side by side. I was trying to close back up to the 4 in order to try to get by him. A little bit of contact there. I think right front wheel well to left front wheel well between the 4 and the 8. Got the 4 a little sideways, but nothing too bad. A little bit of door contact there with the right rear of the 4 into the 8, but pretty clean overall. Sends the 8 up the track. He gets into the wall. That allowed me to get inside. Then we had a little bit of contact here. I mean, this was ruled no fault for me with the 0x. Yeah, I definitely think it was the 8 just coming down a lot more than he realized to try to cut back, but that's when we made that. So nice to get a not get a 4x out of that one. So he was able to clear the 8, no problem. He was falling back. This was 2 to go. I was certainly driving in hard. I mean, you can see how much I was driving off the right rear at that point, but was just trying to get to the inside of the 4 if I could. He washed up. Was not going to be able to get to the run to the inside that point. This is when he drives it in hard. Gets loose right there. Kind of washes it up. So I tried to cut down, get to the run to the inside. Was at about his left rear, and he was really respectful. I tried to hang it on the bottom, and we get off the corner, and he's just loose driving for all he could, and that's what allowed us to pull by. So yeah, that was a really exciting last 5 laps or so. I really enjoyed that. That was, if all street stock racing could be like that, that would be a lot more fun. So let's take a look at the results, see how that did. Should be hopefully a fairly decent return since no incident points and was able to pick up a couple spots. So top split of 6, 27-16, not super strong, but certainly compared to my rating, not bad at all. So pretty far off from the one who set the fast lap time. He was a 14.817 and I was at 963. Granted, I was kind of stuck behind some traffic early on, so couldn't really open it up to the full potential, but certainly not anywhere near those guys. Was honestly, I think I saved tires a little bit better than the 4 and the 8 and just got the benefit of them running side by side and beating on each other. That's what allowed me to get there. So the 9 actually fell back all the way to 11, so he must have had a problem. Did not see what happened to him, but able to pick up 51 rating, so just under 2450, trying to work that back up. If I can get 2500 by the end of the week with the few official races I'm going to plan on running, that'll be fun. That'll be okay. I mean, it was a terrible end of the season the last couple of weeks, so just trying to salvage what I can out of it. .09 out of the safety, just hopefully next run that I do official should be able to clear a little bit more of that off. And hopefully get that 0.4 bump to get me over the 3.0 mark. So 2.79, not bad for where I was. And yeah, really, actually, when you look through the whole results, only 2 cars with 4x out of it. Everybody else all had 0x. So really clean street stock race. That was a lot of fun. Um, Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one as well. That I thought that was decent on track action. I was able to pick up some spots late at the race, made it some fun, and definitely unexpected for how a street stock race typically goes. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. Feel free to leave any feedback, how your week 13 is going, what you guys have been running, what your plan is for season 2. If you think, if you got to run any new content, when you think of that as well. Just love hearing from you guys in general, as always. So stay tuned for more races. And until the next one, I hope all of your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.